I am the guy.
You are not the guy. You're not capable of being the guy. I had a guy, but now I don't. You are not the guy.
Hey everybody, and thank you for watching another video. My name is Merge, and when it comes to the antagonists in the Breaking Bad universe, there is none more infamous than the Salamanca family. A family that's known for being both dangerous and ruthless, from the silent but deadly duo of Lionel and Marco to the psychotic and unpredictable Tuco. And then there's the best of both worlds with Lalo Salamanca, who always leads with a smile, but if the situation calls for it, he can turn into your worst nightmare. And leading these pack of psychopaths is the now disabled Don Hector, communicating with nothing more than taps from a bell. And throughout the series of both Breaking Bad and Better Call Saul, we see the Salamancas in plenty of situations where they show themselves to hold their own, whether it's eliminating an entire gang in one afternoon, ambushing a DEA agent, or just single-handedly taking out an entire hit squad. There is no denying that the Salamancas are a force to be reckoned with. But there is one member of the family that we know very little about. So little in fact that his appearance spans maybe 7 minutes total in the later half of season 4 of Breaking Bad. And that is, or was, Joaquin Salamanca, a character who has virtually no ties to our main characters other than the fact that Jesse killed him. But honestly, he was more of an obstacle for Gus and Mike, especially after the issue with the chicken trucks. And seeing how they just stood outside and ate the truck driver's lunch while they suffocated from the fumes from the gas, you would think, man, that's some Salamanca behavior if I ever seen it. But apparently, and I'm just finding out this now after countless rewatches, but this guy, who I sworn was Joaquin Salamanca, is evidently just some guy named Gaff, or Guff, who serves as the cartel's chief button man and the lead enforcer for Don Eladio. So basically like the cartel's version of Mike. And this guy, the one right here, the one with the goatee who we barely see in this shot, that's Joaquin Salamanca. The guy with no lines and shows up one time in the entire series and only gets a name drop in the following episode after his death.
As is your grandson, Joaquin. That young man shot Joaquin to death.
And to make matters worse, he's killed off in the same episode that he's introduced in. Now personally, I feel that Gaff should have been and probably is the real Joaquin Salamanca just from the interaction that he had with Gus alone, from the sniper shootout, which was definitely a top tier moment from Gus, to the sit down meeting they had where although we don't necessarily know the history they have together, the tension in that scene was just on another level. And we know the only people that can rattle Gus like that is a Salamanca. The best example that I can give is when Gus found out that Lalo was still alive and he was so anxious that he was scrubbing a bathtub with a toothbrush while having a handful of guys, including Mike, watching him. So yeah. And after reading the Wikipedia character description, which only had the character of Gaff on it, I had to find Joaquin on the Breaking Bad fandom wiki, which is saying a whole lot, especially seeing how we don't even have a clear picture of him. But from what I've gathered, they both have the same characteristics of being cartel enforcers and bodyguards to Don Eladio, with the only difference being that Gaff is Don Eladio's right-hand man. So if he's the Mike of the cartel, then Joaquin Salamanca's role would be like the Victor of the cartel, which just further adds to my point of Gaff being the real Salamanca and maybe Joaquin, or who we thought was Joaquin, was just like a body double. Because we know that the Salamancas aren't strangers to using these kind of methods to throw anyone off of who they really are. I mean, even Gus has a body double, so you can't really rule anything out when it comes to how far they would go to keep themselves hidden. So what I think could have happened was when Lalo was killed, maybe Joaquin heard stories about how his older cousin essentially died twice, and he decided to take that idea one step further by having a body double within the cartel. And him using this tactic, he can basically be in two places at once, either by the side of Don Eladio or out in the field shooting at Gus. So for the purposes of my channel and the Heisenverse series that I made, and if you're new to the channel, feel free to check out my alternative take on the Breaking Bad universe. There's a whole playlist, I'll link it down below. But anytime I mention Joaquin Salamanca in any kind of context, I will always be referring to this guy, Gaff, the true Salamanca. And I have to go back to that ambush scene with him and his two guys casually leaning against the truck and eating the lunch of the people that they're killing. And while the drivers suffocate in the truck, they stand completely unfazed by the coughing and choking. And compare that casual behavior to Lalo watching Nacho break into one of their drug spots before it gets raided by the police.
Coincidence? I think not!
But that'll do it for me on this video. I just wanted to explain my confusion after all these years, and who knows, maybe next time you're rewatching Breaking Bad, you'll say to yourself, maybe he is the real Salamanca. Because if not, you'll probably be thinking, well, what purpose did Joaquin Salamanca even serve? But now I want to hear from you guys. What do you think about this theory of Gaff being the real Salamanca and who we thought was Joaquin Salamanca is actually just a body double? Whatever it is, let me know down below in the comments and I'll do my best to respond. And shout out to the one, the only, Mr. Duck for becoming the first member of the Heisenverse. Thank you for supporting my channel, dude. And if you're interested in getting your name shouted out, me working on your video recommendations, and having access to videos 24 hours before anyone else, well, for just $2.99, you can be a member of the Heisenverse and you'll be supporting the channel. And if not, that's cool too. Just keep doing what you're doing. No pressure, guys. I just thought I'd throw it out there. But until then, my name is Merge. Later.